Hello, kitty girls, and welcome to another episode of Med Twitter Tea with Kayode Oki. Oh wow, that rhymed. I'm a poet, I'm a rapper, I'm everything. But yeah, let's just get right into the episode. I want this to be a quick one because I want to go under the 10 minutes because I also need to pee. And yeah, so let's see if I can be quick. So, this episode, as you can see from the title, is about what I have decided to call diversity merchants. So, as always, lifeguard rules apply. If you feel like this message is directed at you, it probably isn't, but you should probably go away and reflect about why you feel so slighted by what I have said. So, set the scene. Um, there's no scene to be set, but I'm just gonna start. Just go straight in for the jugular. So, white supremacy comes in many forms, and I think as a collective, we all just need to remember that all these different conversations and things that are happening in terms of like the EDI world are happening because white men, and by white men I mean like capital W, capital M, have decided it can happen. And as usual, they are the ones who are dominating the space. Um, in terms of the tea I'm drinking, by the way, I'm drinking chamomile tea, and in this like cute, wonderful kitty mug that I got from a very cheap store. Yeah, if you guys have any recommendations for any fancy teas that I should try, just let me know. But chamomile tea because I just felt like I needed to calm down a little bit because I was angry earlier, and I was literally pacing up and down my flat, and it's taken me like an hour and a half to calm down to record this and reflect on about why I'm feeling the way I am and why I've had such a visceral reaction to all of this. Um, so now, I don't have any qualms with white people, white men in particular, being allies and having like a true commitment to diversity and all of that stuff. Um, However, a mere 4 months ago, some people were in my mentions and my DMs doing up like, oh my god, think of the working class white boys, when people were having a conversation to do with equality, diversity, and inclusion, talking about race and talking about women in medicine in particular. And they were bringing up this conversation saying that that white working class boys are being left behind. Um, there was recently a review into all of this and some recommendations made by the Royal College of Surgeons, and actually I think everyone should read it. It's actually quite good. It makes some really important recommendations. However, I feel like some of the people that we're talking about, working class white boys, they've been like tweeting about this review, talking about like how it's so monumental and it's so important and everything. And even worse, they were involved in some way in this review, and that just doesn't like, it's just not making sense to me. So like some people have said things like, oh yeah, we need to make sure we're listening to minority groups more, blah blah blah, yada yada. But somehow you, as a white man, capital W, capital M, you keep on finding yourself in these spaces that, in my own personal opinion, you shouldn't be in anyway. Um, I was listening to a podcast the other day. It's called Who We Be podcast, and it was featuring one of like my favorite people in the world. Full stop. Like genuinely one of my favorite people ever. I'm gonna call her my good sis because like I decided we're sisters. Yeah, we're sisters. Kelechi Okafor, and she was saying that white supremacy evolves and is evolving, and talking about, I was just talking about like people like doing like the fist up for like that black people do. And like I've noticed people like starting to quote Malcolm X, quoting Martin Luther King, quoting all these I guess famous black thinkers that were in this space. And I'm just a bit like, so when you guys were in my DMs 4 months ago doing up think of the working class white boys, you knew all these things. So you knew all these quotes, like, because like I don't know, 4 months is a very very short time to be able to have done a full 180 degrees and realize that things like intersectionality like matter. And this is why me personally, whenever I'm talking about things to do with like equality, diversity and inclusion, I try not to use jargon or use like any terminology, and just talk about the genuine human experience, because there will always be somebody out there who knows more fancy words than you do. So, and some of those people will be and are ops. They are not your friend. So I just do not I try not to use like quotes and terminology that are like part of like that are just really famous, and I just talk about like just the general everyday people. And yeah, it's just very telling that like I read the report, scroll to the end, and I'm seeing contributors, not contributors that me, myself, and I is all I got in this. Sorry, not Destiny's Child time. Know to be very, very ashy and problematic people. Like, it's actually a lot for me as a black baby boy. Like, my spirit can't take it. It's like, what the hell? And it's just like people that I, again, me, myself, and I know to be problematic are benefiting from this whole EDI world. So I was talking to like my med Twitter auntie about this, because I felt like I needed to vent. And I'm just gonna say I'm gonna give her I'm gonna give you one of her quotes, right? She says EDI is a good source of income, and that is like 100% a word and a verse and a book and everything. And in terms of income, it's not just monetary, it's also like societal kudos. Like, people know that it's good to be an ally. Everybody loves an ally, and white people are attaching themselves to this world with ease. And I could go into like the people of color who've just recently discovered that they're not white, but like I don't have time. Like, my spirit can't take it. So it's just very concerning that that even now, the progress, and I'm putting quote marks, air quotes in there. Sorry, Anna. Is still centering whiteness, and it's just like concerning that like this report has been released, and several people who are very very problematic were involved in the making of it. And I'm guessing they have like some sort of authorship, and they can put that on their CV and say that, oh yes, I am so for equality, diversity and inclusion, when in actual fact that in my interactions with you, you are just very not okay. And to all the people out there who are keep on asking, oh, what can I do? I'm so sad. I want to be an ally, but I don't know what I can do. I'll tell you what you can do. Give something up. Like, actually give something up. Go out of pocket. Lose something. So that way we can see that you are actually really about it. So, if you're invited to contribute to the spaces, say no. Right? Just say no. If you're a man who's like being asked to like speak about stuff like about women's issues, just say no. Say, actually, I've got this woman friend who would be a better person to be on this platform and discuss this topic, or like or contributes to this review. Like in the case of the RCS review, like if you're being asked to do it, say no. That this is above me. This is above my pay grade. This I don't have the range to be able to contribute something to this. Just say no. Or if you want to say yes and don't get credit for it. If you're able to do that, then we can start talking. Then we can start vibing. Until then, mm-mm. So let me just be clear right now. I don't think people are quite realizing that it's this exact same pathology that causes people to do, like, oh my god, think of the working class white boys when discussing diversity in terms of women and people of color. Like that is it's the exact same pathological process that causes them to willingly and forcefully take up space in rooms they shouldn't be in. Like it's all about controlling. It's all about um like controlling the narrative and maintaining your own power, or aspiring to gain even more power under like this white supremacist patriarchy that we all exist under. And before anyone comes for me or anything, I'm not jealous. Like, this is not a slight on the RCS. This is not a slight on Baroness Helena Kennedy. Like, honestly, like sis in my book, sis, like Baroness Kennedy is like literally up there, because I know for a fact that she's been doing bits and bobs for a year. I don't know about the exact times about when she started or anything, but I know for a fact that she's been doing scholarships specifically for people, for immigrants who don't have recourse to public funds so they can go to uni. Like sis is really out there flipping the tables and being like, no, I don't care about the scholarships being just for British citizens. Like the people who are mostly like, sis is a babe. Of course she's a baroness, but I'm not going to go into all of that. So this is not like a slight on the review. This is not a slight on the head of the review, but it's more a case of I just want people to like just reflect on who we are seeing in these spaces and who's actually benefiting from all this work. Like if it's predominantly white men who are leading and driving forward these reviews, is it actually really progress, or is it just another form of control and controlling the narrative? So yeah, that is just something for y'all to think about. And again, lifeguard rules. If you were at a swimming pool, sitting down, reading your book, just like minding your own business, and the lifeguard shouts, "Oh, you, stop running," you're not going to be phased, because you are just sitting there minding your own business like the baby boy, girl, or non-binary person you are. So if you feel this is about you, then it probably isn't. But yeah, go and reflect on that. And that brings that episode to an end. My beautiful kitty mug.